the beginning to feel like a slacker movie, like nothing was really happening, you know. Because I watch a lot of those movies, and I get perplexed, you know. It's like, what is going on in this movie, you know? And I just thought, you know, well, you know, and I always think, like in most of the movies that I watch today with young people, I think, well, first of all, nothing's going on because nobody can act, you know, so you're just kind of like watching people talk, and it's like, oh, you know. And I thought, well, maybe that's what's supposed to be going on, you know. And so then, you know, I thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting to actually try that, like to get non-actors and to see if you put them in front of the camera and you tell them this is what you're supposed to do and that's your mark, and go from there to there and talk these lines, and the only directions what I would say was you got to mean it, you know, just mean what you're saying, you know, and you know, and they would just talk. And sometimes, when I watch the movie, sometimes it looks like, you know, they're just talking, and other times it looks like they're acting, you know. And it's kind of mixed between, and so it's this kind of B-movie style feel that's kind of like irritating and cool at the same time, you know, that I think is like rampant in films these days, you know. So I thought, well, you know, if you want to be irritating, then I'm just the guy to be irritating.
So, what was the idea that you were just like, all right, so I got this B movie, this B horror film I want to shoot, but I'm going to make them sing. Like, where did that kind of correlation come in? And I want them to have guitars. Like, what was that?
I just thought that nobody's, you know, ever since, like, Rocky Horror Picture Show, nobody's done it, you know, where, like a slasher, like a straight-out B-movie slasher movie where people are singing and dying. Yeah, everybody sings and everybody dies. You know? I love that concept. I thought it was an awesome concept. You know?
I think we decided that would have been the tagline of the poster.
Yeah, when there's a poster, everybody sings and everybody dies. Yeah.
So, how did the casting come about?
Well, it's just simply that my nephew Håkon D'Onofrio, he has a.
My mom's met him.
Oh, okay. Hawk would like that. He has, you know, his friends in New York have a band, and that's the Dirty Dirty, and Suman,
Johnny.
Who played Johnny, the Asian kid, the guy who plays the blind guy, Nick Thorpe, and Matt Speglia, the lead, are in a band. So they're in a real band called the Dirty Dirty. Or they were, they split up. You know, but they're going to get back together for like Live Aid or something eventually. And then, you know, we just kept looking for other guys through channels of, you know, young guys that didn't know how to act but had the guts to get in front of a camera, and they were all very, very good musicians and all very confident. And the girls I met in cafes serving coffee and on the street, and one was an extra on Criminal Intent. Cassandra, the girl who plays the second lead, Nick Storm's girlfriend, that's Cassandra. Walker, she was an extra on Criminal Intent. And I asked her if she could sing, and she said yeah, and I said, are you lying? And she said no. And so we brought her to the studio, and she sang, and she was tonally perfect. And it's the one thing that they all had in common. All of them, they were tonally perfect. I mean, they didn't all know how to sing the songs correctly at first, but tonally they were all very precise and very good.
Okay. Was there any specific rehearsal that you guys did, or I mean?
We laid all the music down first. You know, some of it we did. We wanted to have the choice to choose whether we were going to use recordings while we were shooting or use playback that we had pre-recorded. So most of the songs are stuff that we pre-recorded in the studio. Of course, they sang it there too, but they had to sing it to playback, and they had to play to playback. They're very talented people because they have to play the instruments and sing to themselves, playing instruments and singing, and it's not an easy thing to do. So I think 3 of the songs are actually what we recorded while we were filming, and the rest is from playback. But we brought them in a couple of weeks. We just did it in a couple of weeks. Not even a couple of weeks, like I'm talking, in a 2-week period, we worked for like 3.5 days on it, and brought them in and laid all the music down and all the instruments down. And we had all that ready. And that's the only rehearsal we did was to get them to sing the songs properly in the studio while we were recording. And then we just went out in the woods and shot it. You know.